Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Good morning, everybody. It is Monday morning, September 19th, 2022. We're entering into a very exciting season. It is almost midterm elections. Tensions are going to get tighter. Hostilities are going to increase on both sides. Just what we need to keep everything fresh and hopefully not murder each other in this country. Coffee. Love coffee. I am JJ, and I think I'm alone this morning. Good morning, Jeremy. Our friend Deacon is taking a road trip. He's going to go see his aunt. You never know how often or how many chances you have to see family, especially when they live a long way away. So I certainly have some regrets about not spending time with some of my own family. And his aunt is ill, and you just never know. So he's taking the day off and he's out traveling. Maybe he'll listen in. I don't know, but I think he's in the car or he's at a hotel or I don't know. I know he has himself and a whole lot of kids to take care of. So we don't expect to see him here this morning. He'll probably be back tomorrow. So since Deacon's not here, I'm going to talk a lot about politics and midterms and stuff like that. But before we get into that, I do have I got my official looking piece of paper here. So I've got a slate of stories to discuss and kind of go over and just, let us all collectively become more conscious and more aware of the world around us. So here we go. Let's start off with Let's start off with this. Let's go. Don't think I need to do any audio, so I'm going to just do the whole screen and we can just get through these things. Okay, So, what this story is on justthenews.com. Justthenews.com is a green light, 69.5 out of 100. So it's real news. National debt nears $31 trillion as the Congress considers a new spending bill. Yay, spending. The Congressional Budget Office has estimated it'll reach 110% of GDP in 2032, higher than it's ever been, and 185% of GDP by 2052. Oh my God, it's the end of the world as we know it. This is so bad. The national debt is nearing $31 trillion. Oh boy. If lawmakers amended current laws to maintain certain policies now in place, even larger increases in debt would ensue. This is the best they could do. Debt is projected to rise in relation to GDP mainly because of increasing interest costs and growth in spending for Medicare and Social Security. Oh, 31 trillion, 31 billion. What's the difference? 31 million, 31 whatever, bazillion. It's all make believe, right? It's all fake numbers. So let's look at the US debt clock. Now, this website is just amazing. If you have never been here, you should just go check it out and find out exactly how much of the United States debt you personally are really responsible for. Sorry, that's 2008. Let's go to current year. Oh, too large. There we go. 30 trillion national debt is 30 trillion 899 billion 217 million and ratcheting up quickly. Now, if you were to divide that amount by its number of citizens, that'd be $92,000 each. We all owe $92,000 each, but some citizens are just born or ready to eternally retire. So if you only divide it up by the taxpayers owe $245,000 each, and we could wipe this debt out. You got $245 in your pocket? No. So if you compare so this federal debt to GDP ratio, that is this figure, the national debt, as compared to the gross domestic product. So this figure here in this green box, this is our GDP. $24 trillion, 816 billion, 374 million, million. And then, this figure over here seems to be constantly on the decline. This is our gross domestic product. This is the amount of money we generate in revenue before costs are removed. Gross domestic product, not the net. And then, so the amount of money we generate is 24, we'll call it $25 trillion. And our current debt is 31 trillion. So that means that we are now 124.51% debt over GDP. Oh, that's not good. You can see it used to be back in 1960, 50%. We used to owe 50% of what we make every year. We owed that in national debt. And we got it down to 35% down in 1980. And then it went way back up to 56% in 2000. And now it's over 100%. We owe more than we generate annually. Oh, but that can't be that bad, right? No, this is pretty bad. So what else is on here? The amount of total U.S. debt is 92, let's see, 100,000 million billion trillion dollars. Oh my gosh, that's so much money. This is unfunded debt interest, money creation. Oh, the M2 money supply. We currently have $21.8 trillion in U.S. cash out there, as cash available to be used and consumed. And the reason this figure here is going up and up and up is because the United States government is just printing money. They're printing money because they got to service this debt. This is awesome. This is so awesome. So when I graduated I graduated high school in '96, and so before I graduated high school, this is 19. This is based on 10 years, and then every election year since 2000. So in 1990, our national debt was $3 trillion. $3 trillion, and 1990 is the era of Bush Senior, just before Bill Clinton ran the campaign of "It's the economy, stupid." In the era of "It's the economy, stupid" being the winning and correct message in American politics, we had collectively $5 trillion in gross domestic product and $3 trillion in national debt. So we were like 60% of our GDP in national debt. In 10 years after that, 2000, we had increased the national debt to $5.7 trillion with a Republican Congress and a Democratic president. And our GDP had increased to $9.8 trillion. So we remained about this 60% figure. And we were at $5.6 trillion. $5.6 trillion. And then things just kept getting worse. In 2004, that had increased by another $2 trillion, and our GDP to debt ratio increased about 7%. And then in 2008, we had the housing market crash. We had increased our debt to another $3 trillion. We are now at $10 trillion, and our GDP to gross debt to GDP ratio, 76%. So the GDP is going up, but our debt is going up faster than our GDP. That's not good. Then 2012, in the era following the housing market crash, we had gotten up to 15.7 trillion and over 100% GDP ratio. And well, you see where we're at today. Today we're at 31 trillion, and here's our GDP. We have 137% total debt to GDP ratio. But let's look forward a mere 4 years. Projecting forward at this rate, we are looking at $41 trillion in national debt. Our gross domestic product is not increased very much. Okay, 24 trillion, and it'll be at 183% of debt to GDP. This is what you call crippling. Our gross domestic product literally is estimated to not go up at all. In fact, may go down, and our debt just keeps going up. Oh, but don't we owe that to ourselves? How's that help if you can't afford to buy milk? If our economy gets crushed and you can't feed your kids, we owe it to ourselves. Okay, so that's I just wanted to kind of get a pin in the national debt for a moment as we consider this story that the CBO is estimating that our national debt's nearing 31 trillion. And, let's keep an eye on it for the next year or 2 or 3, because, you're on the hook for this. So good times. Okay. So that's the national debt story. So let's talk about our president, Joe Biden. And Joe Biden did an interview with 60 Minutes. I'm sure that this was a very tough and engaging interview. No softballs here. Revolver News, which, to be fair, is considered by NewsGuard to be a 0 out of 100. Probably because it's mostly an aggregation site, and they retitle news stories for a more, they take collections of news stories, and then they write a new link title that's more clickable. So it could be salacious. I don't know. Technically fake news. However, if you look at the top here, you see the revolver bias is slightly right, but it's largely center. Okay, so let's see. Biden does 60 Minutes. Here's some takeaways. Biden refuses to commit to a 2024 election. So, when asked about 2024, he said, among other things, he said, look, my intention, as I said to begin with, is that I would run again, but it's an intention. It's a firm decision that I run again. That remains to be seen. So, now, to give him a little bit of credit, once you announce I'm running for president, there's forms to fill out and there's laws that apply in terms of how you collect money and how you spend money. A person not running for president can say and spend all kinds of money with, as an exercise of free speech. A person running for president has to file documentation on all the monies that they bring into their organization. They have to file reports on all of the expenses that go out and how things are done. There's a lot of let's say reporting and observation that is required. So it makes total sense why Joe Biden will not yet announce that he is running, and it makes total sense why Donald Trump has not yet formally announced that he's running. You really box yourself in. You box yourself in. You make yourself available to a paltry amount of presidential election funds that nobody takes advantage of anymore, because you can get so much more money from billionaires and mass donors than you can get from the presidential election fund. So makes sense that he's not announcing yet. And Joe Biden probably, we'll say Joe Biden. We'll say Joe Biden is in charge of things over there. He may not want to tip the balance on midterm elections, which are about to happen yet. Maybe he thinks that it's more advantageous. He's Beazel Biden now. Yeah, last week I called him Beazel Biden due to his obey speech. So Beazel Biden, it's hilarious. I think it's hilarious. Okay, so Joe Biden has not confirmed that he is running again, although I swear I thought I saw a news story that had announced that he was running again, but must not have been, because it wasn't all over the place. He also said during the 60 Minutes interview, when asked, would the U.S. forces defend Taiwan if invaded by China, Joe Biden said yes. And the White House then had to clarify policy that policy on Taiwan has not changed. So the official United States policy is that there is one China, and that Taiwan eventually should be like part of China. But our formal contract with that island nation is that we would defend them in if they were attacked. So President Biden declared that if China goes into Taiwan, that U.S. military forces would land on the ground and die and bleed for Taiwan. And the White House says, let's walk that back a little bit. I think there's a clip here. I don't know if we want to play. Anyway, so the situation with Taiwan remains like a kindling, what is it? A kindling box or whatever, a tinder box. At any time, China could definitely tilt global political landscape by any number of actions, right? Any number of actions. And heading over like 100 miles to Taiwan, it would be a big disruption in global power. Good morning, Jency. Good morning, sir. Good morning, everybody that's watching. Hello. Deacon will be back tomorrow. Don't worry. Yes, you do get the opportunity to listen to me opine on some things today, but Deacon's golden radio voice will return tomorrow. Gearing up for the midterms, Biden declares the pandemic's over. Yay, the pandemic is over. We still have a problem with COVID. We're still doing a lot of work on it. Pandemic is over. Okay. According to Joe Biden, inflation is up just an inch. When asked about inflation, I think this is worth playing. This last one is worth playing because this is the sort of duplicitous political double talk that you get from a any kind of politician, but it's so obvious and so clear and honestly so gross that he immediately reframes the question so that it's not really talking about
Mr.
annual
President,
inflation over year over year, which is what we're concerned about. Annual inflation every year, you're paying 8.3% now more for goods and services. In some cases, 15%, 13%, depending on if it's a food or if it's fuel or whatever. You're paying more on average. Interest, you're paying more on average. Costs are up now 8.3% versus last year. But Joe Biden reframes the question in the moment. This is training. This is the fact that he's been coached for this. And like, look, when you get pitched this inflation question, change the context from year over year inflation to month over month inflation, because since last month it hasn't gone up anymore. Well, last month it was still 8 point something percent up. It's ridiculously high. This is going to kill and crush our economy. But, when you get questioned on it, make sure to reframe it to month over month. And it's not that big a deal. It's not that big a deal.
You know, last Tuesday, the annual inflation rate came in at 8.3%. The stock market nosedived. People are shocked by their grocery bills. What can you do better and faster?
Well, first of all, let's put this in perspective. Inflation rate month to month was just an inch, hardly at all.
You're not arguing that 8.3 is good news.
No, I'm not saying it's good news, but it was 8.2 or 8.2 before. I mean, it's not. Maybe I can make it sound like all.
This dude. Hey, smash a 1 in the comments if you think Joe Biden is a duplicitous POS.
All of a sudden, my God, it went to 8.2%. It's
the highest inflation rate, Mr. President, in 40 years.
I got that. But guess what we are? We're in a position where for the last several months, it hasn't spiked. It has just barely, it's been basically even. And in the meantime, we created all these jobs.
How come it's not going down?
Prices have gone up, but they've come down for.
Inflation could go down. Maybe if your policies were in place, inflation wouldn't stay high. Maybe it would come down.
Energy. The fact is that we've created 10 million new jobs. We're in a sense, we came to office. We're in a situation where the unemployment rate is about 3.7%, one of the lowest in history. We're in a situation where manufacturing is coming back to the United States.
Nobody believes you. Nobody cares. Manufacturing is not coming back to the United States in any major form currently. All right. So Joe Biden had an interview with 60 Minutes Now, and he was actually pitched serious questions, but it looks like they kind of let him get away with these reframes and minimization of the damage being done. Oh, it's only up. It's up barely an inch. It was 8% last month. It's 8% this month. No big deal. No big deal. Okay, Joe Biden. Let's see. Let's check out this story. Also, I got a couple more. I got 2 more Biden stories. This one's from Deacon. Thank you, Deacon, for dropping this in there because I probably wouldn't have seen it. Biden signs bill eliminating civil statute of limitations for child sex abuse victims. Biden signs a bill eliminating civil statute of limitations for child sex abuse victims. So, if you were abused as a child 35 years ago, and you finally have the evidence for it, oh, I'm sorry. Statute of limitations. Sorry, you got kid diddled. President Biden on Friday signed a bill that I don't know why legislation like this gets passed. President Biden on Friday signed a bill that will eliminate the statute of limitations for eliminate. Oh, I misread it entirely. Eliminate the statute of limitations for people who were sexually abused as minors to file civil claims. Okay. Eliminating. Oh, well, then you know what? Allow me to. I misread this entirely. I will take it back. I'm going to give Biden credit on this because I think if somebody was abused as a child, absolutely there should be no statute of limitations. So this is good. Eliminating statute of limitations. The bill estimates that eliminates time constraints for survivors to file civil claims related to sex abuse crimes against minors, including forced labor, sex trafficking, sexual abuse, and sexual exploitation of children. Previously, minors who survived such abuse were able to file federal claims until they reached the age of 28 or until a decade after the violation of injury was discovered. No federal statute of limitations was in place for criminal claims regarding child sex crimes. Okay, so allow me to correct myself. I had totally misread the headline of this. This was introduced by Dick Durbin, Marsha Blackburn, and co-sponsored by Dianne Feinstein, John Cornyn, who is a total piece of shit, and Patrick Leahy. Okay, so this is a good bill. I say this is a good bill. I don't see any downside here. So Ashley Button can sue. Well, there's never been a charge there. So I don't know. There's no evidence. No evidence whatsoever. Okay. Let's see. That's a good story. I didn't show it on screen, but that's okay. So this came up. I think I saw it in my feed on Saturday. And if you've been watching the news, where is it here? Here. No. Here. If you've been watching the news, you would probably be made aware that, according to intelligence agencies and the FBI, white supremacy is the greatest domestic terror threat in the United States. White supremacists are out there just ready to take everything down, even though you've never seen one yourself. Even though you never actually seen one. And despite the fact that you did see in 2020 broken bricks through glass, burning buildings, people shot in the street, cars stopped in the middle of the roads. Despite the fact that you've seen that stuff, it is white supremacists that are the greatest threat to national security. Right? That's what you've been told, even though you've never seen it. It's like, I don't know. Somehow these white supremacists, they're very, very clever. Wherever they're at, they are very good at staying hidden. You can't find these guys. Biden accused of pressuring the FBI to fabricate extremist and white supremacist cases. Oh, come on now. You watched the Obey speech, the soul of the nation, being ripped apart by these right-wing militant white supremacists, anti-American, anti-democratic, something, hate them, vote for me. Right? You watch that. Biden accused of pressuring the FBI to fabricate extremist and white supremacist cases. That is, you gin this up, because this is my talking points for 2024. Rank and file FBI agents are accusing the Biden administration of exaggerating the threat of white supremacists and pressuring agents to cook up domestic terrorist cases involving racist extremists. Current and former FBI agents told the Washington Times that the perceived white supremacist threat is overblown by the administration. They said top bureau officials are pressuring agents to create cases and tag people as white supremacists to meet internal metrics. I believe that I've heard that to meet these internal metrics, they're actually elevating cases of people that are already in prison. So you put people in prison, and then they either join the Crips or the Bloods or whatever gangs are in there. I don't know anything about gangs. Or if you're a white person, you join the Aryan Nation because you don't want to get killed by some of these other gangs. So people get put into prison and then, as a survival strategy, join gangs. And then you see, white supremacist gang numbers are up because they're including white prisoners joining gangs, but they don't include persons of color joining other gangs. So they're ginning up. They're faking this increase in white supremacist activity. Amazing. The demand for white supremacy coming from FBI headquarters vastly outstrips the supply of white supremacy. We don't have enough white supremacy to meet these quotas. So we have more people assigned to investigate white supremacists than we can actually find. The FBI has more agents assigned to investigate white supremacists than they can actually find white supremacists. So I don't know. I don't know. Maybe there's something we can learn from these white supremacists. They're able to hide so well. These guys, sneaky. They're so sneaky. So sneaky. So this is not good because, the this is being you guys remember the Fine People hoax, right? Where the which is I think it was in 2018, 2019, maybe, I don't know, remember when, where there was a rally in I don't know, somewhere in the East Coast, Virginia, or I don't know where it was, and and people showed up with like torches or whatever, and then there was some conflict, and then reportedly by the media that Trump had said there's fine people on both sides. That those both sides being defined by the media as the white supremacists and the not white supremacists and everybody else. So therefore, the hoax is that Trump was saying the white supremacists were fine people, when in fact that's not what he said at all. He was saying that there was a conflict between two groups of people, and there's good people on both sides. And he said, except for the white supremacists, except for them. So this is being used to advocating that there is such a danger of white supremacy. It's being used to feed news stories and narratives, to advance political agendas, to benefit Democratic politicians that are running for offices. This is fake news. The government is creating fake news with the FBI so that they can release statistics that aren't real, so that they can run on the fake news. It's amazing. It's amazing. This is your FBI, ladies and gentlemen. You spend it. This is what you're paying for. You're paying for this. Okay, so you should definitely know about that. Okay, check this out. We keep talking about migrant stuff because honestly, this is the pressure cooker of. I feel like this is the pressure cooker of the current election cycle, current election season. After decades of not paying attention to the border and how and how insecure the border is, and how many people are being harmed in throughout the ecosystem of getting into the United States illegally, right? Finally, Donald Trump said build the wall, and had a positive and good relationship with our neighbor Mexico. And putting up the wall, it slowed down people coming across the border from Mexico, but it also slowed down people coming throughout Central and South America into Mexico, right? It helped our neighbors. They no longer had millions of human beings trafficking through their country, and then also their own citizens leaving and coming into the United States. It benefited Mexico. Now, does it benefit for people to come here too? Yeah, of course it does. But the wall was a barrier that slowed things down. But during that time, Donald Trump, president of the United States of America, had a good and positive relationship with Mexico. I think it was Felix. I'm sorry, I can't remember the president's name at the time. Have you read any news stories about Joe Biden having positive or good relationships with Mexican president? Probably not. I can't think of one. So in the time since this administration took over, essentially Kamala Harris and Joe Biden signaled to the world, borders open, come on in. And that's actually what the migrants believe. They're being, some people are asking them and interviewing them on the journey, and they're actually like, the border's open, we're allowed to come in. So these people that are making this journey, this perilous and dangerous journey, putting their lives in extreme danger, getting washed away in rivers and dying, getting boxed up into trucks and dying of heat exposure, dying on the road and being left for dead, perilous journey, dangerous. And these people are being told by coyotes, by essentially our administration, by word of mouth, that it's okay to come in this way now. Anyway, this administration has opened the floodgates. People are coming in. And now, because of this busing policy, not only are Americans able to see just how many people are coming in, but they're also able to see how intolerant these sanctuary cities are of the migrants that they advocate for in terms of coming here illegally, right? So you have these sanctuary cities and sanctuary states where people say, if you, it doesn't matter if you come here legally or illegally, we're not going to allow ICE to pick you up. We're going to provide housing. We're going to provide shelter. We're going to provide resources because, you know, we believe everybody should be able to come to America or whatever. And, you know, whatever their line is, because it sounds good and you can get voted that way. But when it comes down to it, when you take migrants, you put them on a bus and you send them to these sanctuary cities, they put them back on a bus and they send them to the suburbs. Or if you fly them to Martha's Vineyard, within 24 hours, within 48 hours, 24, 48 hours, the rich white liberals that have Airbnb houses to rent galore, lots of space, lots of room, lots of money, they immediately call in the National Guard for 50 people and get them out of here. Send them to Cape Cod, put them in a warehouse or something. Get them out of here. Get them out of here. So, whoever came up with this strategy, and I don't think it was Governor Abbott. I'm not sure. It definitely wasn't DeSantis, but he saw a strategy that was working and he got on board. I don't think it was the governor of Arizona. I don't know who came up with this idea, but this idea is killing them, or it's killing it, because by sending a fraction, we're talking 0.1% of migrants. We have 8,000 people a day entering into Texas. 8,000 people a day. We're sending like 50, 100 people every couple of days over to New York or to Chicago or to Martha's Vineyard or wherever. We're sending them to DC, to Kamala Harris's house. Every couple of days, we send a couple hundred people. It's a nothing. It is a fraction. It's an insignificant fraction based on the amount of humans that are being housed and you know, that the state of Texas is ultimately bearing the burden to support, because you can't just let people die. Of course not. Nobody wants that. So these buses are just a highlighter. It's saying, look, they say these things, but they don't mean them. You send them to them and they get rid of them as soon as they can. I don't know. It's a good strategy. I mean, the best strategy would be to have policies that secure our border so that our country can raise it up and then partner with the countries in Central and South America and talk to those, establish good relations with those countries. What can we do as two separate countries, or 9, or however many there are? What can we do to help you grow your country and stabilize, rather than have a dozen failing states in our southern border and people fleeing for economic opportunities? I don't know. Maybe, I mean, I don't know. We need to have real solutions. This pretending there's no border crisis, this is the last and worst thing we could be doing. So regarding, so there's record numbers of buses being rolling into New York City's Port Authority. So previously it was 1 or 2 buses every 3 days, every 2 or 3 days. And now it's like 6 buses a day and 6 or 7 buses a day almost every day. So Texas is turning up the heat on sending migrants into New York. Now, New York City got a lot of money, got a lot of resources, and they declare that they are a sanctuary city. So that's where these migrants want to go. Texas is helping them get there. Nobody gets put on these buses against their will. These people are like offered a hey Manuel, how you doing? Thanks for showing up. Nobody gets on these buses against their will. They're offered, hey, look, you can stay here under this bridge, or we got Chicago, Washington, D.C., New York. You can go, we'll give you a bus ticket and a barcode, and you can go to any one of these places. You can literally get off the bus at any point that you want. Nobody's monitoring them. You know, they get the barcode with their information because that has all their digital documents on it, but they can get off wherever they want. And if they have family in New York or Pennsylvania or anywhere in the Northeast that are going to pick them up and take them in. So Texas is just allowing people to get on the bus on their own. So that's what's happening. That's the reality of it. But to hear the media speak of it, you'll think that these people are being abducted from shelters in Texas and being forced to go to New York City, which truly would be a human crime to be forced to go to New York City. Anyway, so Texas is turning up the heat and sending more buses on more days. So Mayor Adams in New York City, he says that migrants could be housed on cruise ships. Okay. What? New York cities are so overwhelmed by the migrant crisis that Mayor Adams is considering cruise ships as a temporary housing. We examined everything from the legality of using any type of cruise ship for temporary housing. We're looking at everything, how to deal with this. Each bus typically carries 40 to 50 migrants. As I said before, we're now doing like 6 or 7 buses a day, every day. The influx is crippling the New York shelter system. Full-time facilities are being pushed to the brink and affecting the quality of life of the neighborhood, and the city has opened 23 emergency shelters, but that's still not enough beds. Cruise ships would help alleviate the stress, according to Adams, and were once the alternative, an alternative the Bloomberg administration considered using during its own migration surge. How does that work? Are they going to seize the cruise ships and force them to be used for migrants? I don't know. Adams did not disclose any further details regarding potential floating shelters, but slammed federal policy of barring migrants from working in the U.S. before obtaining work permits. Mayor Adams said, some of this is the federal policy because we don't let illegal aliens work in our workforce." If they could work, then they could afford some rents. We are saying you could come here, but you're not allowed to work. That's unbelievable. No, what we say is, fill out your forms, get a visa, come here legally, enter the workforce legally. That's what we say. And then they don't do that. And now you're saying, they shouldn't have all these requirements. It's making it hard. Okay. Every country in the world that you want to go somewhere and work, you have to get a visa or you're working illegally. We need to look and see what we're facing shortages. How do we go about allowing people to take care of themselves? If not we, the government must take care of them. It just makes no sense. So, wow, if you own a cruise ship in New York, you better get that thing out of there. It's about to be seized and used as a floating hotel. Hey, maybe you guys could just sail them straight down to Venezuela, South America, Guatemala, Honduras, whatever. Just send them down, let people pack up there and bring them up. It'll be a lot safer than people walking through the desert. Just send the boats down to Central America, load them up there, and then send them back to New York City. It'll be a safer drive for everybody. The people traveling, the migrants, they'll have margaritas, right? Pina coladas. Cruise ship dining is great. I mean, it's like 24 hours a day. There's always food available. You got turn down service. You got room service. This is good. This is a good idea. So go Mayor Adams. Let's get these cruise lines on board and, let's save some lives here, people. Let's save some lives. Send these cruise ships down to the Central America, load them up and bring them back to DC. Let's help these people out. That's what's the right thing to do. All right, let's talk midterms. The Decision Desk 2022 elections model has been consistently in a dead heat for the last couple months. It's very likely that there's going to be a 50-50 Republican-Democrat Senate. Well, that's not good. If you're a Republican, that's not good because in a 50-50 situation, the Constitution allows the vice president, in this case Kamala Harris, to cast tie-breaking decision votes as the president of the Senate. So when it's a 50-50 vote, the vice president gets the 51st she gets the 51st vote and tie-breaking decision and gets to essentially hand to the Democrats the majority of the Senate when there is a 50-50 situation. As you can see, there are a number of states. So if you don't know, the way that senators are elected is that senators serve a 6-year term, two senators per state, and they serve a 6-year term. about 1/3 of senators in the United States House, in the United States Senate, which is 100 senators. It's 2 senators per state, 100 senators total. About 1/3 are elected every 6 years. So this year, there will be 1/3 of senators elected. Next year, in 2 years, another third, and 2 years after that, another third. And that's the cycle. So the states currently that have senators up for election include California, Oregon, Washington, solidly blue. You have Illinois, probably the most corrupt state in the union. Maybe not. Maybe you got New York, you got Vermont, Connecticut, Maryland. These are all solidly blue. They're not changing. They're not. They're gonna reelect Democrats. And then you have a faction of states that are almost certainly going to elect Republicans. So you got Idaho, Utah, North and South Dakota, Iowa, Missouri, Arkansas, Louisiana, Kansas, Oklahoma, Alabama, Indiana, Kentucky, South Carolina. You have a few that are kind of leaning, right? They're a little more 50-50, but they're kind of leaning, very likely to go one way. That'd be Florida, North Carolina, Ohio, Wisconsin. You got Arizona and Colorado. Typically, they elect blue. Pennsylvania is shockingly light. Okay. Pennsylvania, generally, the state may be very red in the counties, but it's dominated by its cities. And so this is a shockingly tight race that is very light blue, Pennsylvania. Now, here you have a race between John Fetterman and Mehmet Oz. Fetterman not looking good in the news, and that is largely because he has two factors against him. He's pretty popular with his base, but for a national office and a national stage, he has a couple things that are not working in his favor. One is that his casual attire. This is very appealing, I'm sure, to blue collar workers. This guy rolls around in a hoodie to official government business. He's the lieutenant governor of Pennsylvania, and he rolls around with a hoodie up all the time. So his casual attire conveys this message that most politicians do not do, which is that he's one of the working people, right? So that's it. That works in some regards, but it doesn't work. It doesn't work now for national office. You cannot wear a hoodie into the Senate chambers. Okay, so he's going to have to put on a suit, but I've never seen that dude wear a suit. But more importantly, it appears that he may be having some health issues, which has been raised by his opponent, Dr. Oz. He may be having some health issues, and he may be using this hoodie or neck gaiters or something else to cover his neck to conceal some possible health issues. Not real sure what's going on there. He did have a stroke like a month ago and has been campaigning despite the fact that he's recovering from a stroke. He's henceforth, up to this point so far, refused to debate Mehmet Oz in a debate for Senate. In fact, this is a tactic that several of these Democrats are taking, where they refuse to engage in debate, denying voters the ability to discern between two people on stage their ideas and choose. Instead, it's just down to letters on a ballot. So he's refusing to engage in debate, despite the fact that Dr. Oz has called him out on this. I think he's finally agreed to a debate, but it hasn't happened yet. When it does happen, it's probably not going to look too good. So this is a shockingly tight race, because I would expect it to go far heavier Democrat. You can see that its current projections are 70% estimated 70% Democrat, only 30% Mehmet Oz. But when you look at the light color blue here, it is so light because despite his significant advantages, he's not doing too good. He's not doing too good. Still, that's likely a Democrat seat, but it'll be very thin margins. The two toss-ups in question are Georgia and Nevada. And again, 62% estimated that the Democratic candidate will take Nevada, and 64% estimated that Warnock will defeat Walker in Georgia. This is on Decision Desk HQ. Here you can see the Republican advantage of +2 had shrunk by end of July to the 50-50. And so if these states both go blue, it would be a 50-50 Senate. If all three of these states go blue, it would be a 50-50 Senate. And despite likely Republican gains in the House, it almost certainly it sent a democratically controlled Senate and a Democratic president. No Republican legislation gets through. Probably there's just total gridlock. And as Nancy Pelosi taught us, when there is political gridlock, run impeachments. Why not? Why not? I don't know. So, but here's the thing. Decision Desk HQ, which is the official shot caller in terms of who wins seats and stuff. These are their estimates, but if you go to Real Clear Politics, the Real Clear Politics Senate projection seems to be different. In the RCP projection currently, things can change, guys. We still have 6 weeks to the election? 6 weeks. So things can tip upside down. It can go the other way. You just really never know. But you'll see on the projection map for RCP, Nevada, Georgia, and Pennsylvania are red. And in this current projection, it's possible that the GOP could pick up 2 seats. Now we're talking a very different political reality in 2023. If the Republicans hold the House and the Senate, there could be some wild stuff happening next year. I don't know why they are painting Nevada and Georgia so red. My understanding is that Warnock is refusing to debate Walker, and Walker's making gains. Okay, Herschel Walker, which I believe is like a football dude, right? He's making a lot of gains. The latest polls indicate that Masters is tightening on Kelly. So Kelly, the astronaut, currently holds 47% in the sitting seat, and Masters is gaining on him. He's now at 45, 47. Carrie Lake is now over at 50% over Hobbs at 46. So that is looking like Republican Lake has a 4-point advantage. And Maine governor. Okay, so Maine governor, I'm not too interested in governors right now, but I'm really curious about what's going on in Nevada. And, you know, if Herschel Walker can continue to make gains in Georgia, he's very likable. And if Warnock continues with this refuse to debate, that is a losing strategy for Democrats, because if they won't get on stage and defend their ideas, then you're not giving anybody a reason to vote for them. So they're losing the middle. They're losing the independents. They're losing the deciders. Whereas Walker will continue to say, I'm challenging to debate, and you're running away, and will continue to go out there and propose his ideas. I mean, it's a being willing to debate is a winning strategy. So, especially when your opponent refuses to. So, that Pennsylvania seat, though, the Oz Fetterman seat, they are painting that even more solidly red than Georgia or Nevada, which are technically toss-ups. You know, it could go either way. It's going to be a very tight race. So these are the states to be watching in the news, guys. If you only kind of casually observe, you need to watch for Senate stories out of Nevada, Georgia, Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania, you're going to see a lot because Mehmet Oz has been on Fetterman. Fetterman is doing interviews and he's not really looking too good. He's struggling to put sentences together and he's concealing some health issues in spite of the fact that we know he had a stroke, but it appears that he is concealing some other health issues. So this could go upside down for Fetterman real fast. But these are the 3 states to be watching for 2022. Very interesting stuff. Okay, that's all we're going to do on politics right now. I got this one crazy story, though, from New York Post. This is on September 16th, so this would have been on last Friday. Food delivery robot casually rolls through a Los Angeles crime scene. This is the future, guys. AI, robots. We live in the future. And they don't really, robots are not able to detect yellow tape. Things that humans would be like, oh, that's a signal that I'm not supposed to go there. This robot was just like, whatever, I got to deliver these tacos. Or whatever they were. Law and Order CPU, a food delivery robot, was captured casually rolling through Los Angeles crime scene, perplexing officers in a video that has since gone wild. Oh, we should watch this video. Unless I'm going to get struck for it. The robot, dubbed Connie, was cruising down the sidewalk on its mission. Let's see. Let's play. Can we play the video? Let's watch the video. We don't need to hear it. We can just watch this robot. Oh, look at the robot. It's like, excuse me, pardon, coming through. I'm just going to go through this crime scene right now. This is amazing. Why'd that guy lift the tape? Why'd that guy help? Dude, what are you doing? It's probably like a car wreck or something like that, right? So it's like a not very important crime scene, but what if it was an important crime scene? What if there was a body on the street? Regarding Fetterman, Jordan says he's got a tumor that's growing a nasty politician out of it. It's pretty funny. Pretty good. All right. Let's see. Connie paused in front of a crime scene tape, apparently calculating how to get past the obstacle when a news cameraman just lifted it up, allowing Connie to cruise right through the crime scene. As Connie wheeled, hey, news cameraman, you're supposed to report the news. You're not supposed to be part of the news. Come on, dude. Get good at your job. I'm doing better at your job than you are. As Connie wheeled down the sidewalk, confused officers glanced over but didn't stop the robot continuing on its path. And there it goes. Luckily, cops determined the call for the gunfire they received was a hoax. Oh, so the crime scene was reported of shots fired. Okay. And the call for gunfire was a hoax. Hello, 2022. Fake 911 reports. Hopefully somebody didn't get swatted. As for Connie, it's unclear if she made it to her destination. Who cares? So robots, AI, super smart. They're the future. They will get you your tacos despite police presence that would intimidate a human food delivery person. A human food delivery person wouldn't have stopped there. He would have been like, oh no, I can't go this way. I'll have to reroute. But this robot was like, I don't even care, bro. I don't even care. I'm going to get these tacos there. Come here, sweetie. Oh, you are getting heavy. Jill, would you like to tell our audience how important it is that they like and subscribe?
I don't know, Dad.
Can you say, please like and subscribe?
I don't know how to say that.
It's like and subscribe.
Daddy, Villanelle starts with a V.
Oh, Villanelle does start with a V. What's Villanelle? Is that your purple dragon that you have here?
Mm-hmm.
And would Villanelle like to tell our viewers to like and subscribe?
She says yes.
Oh, yes. Villanelle is asking you guys to like and subscribe. So if you haven't already, please hit the like button. And please let people know that we have the show every morning, 6:30 in the morning. Repeal all of politics. Yes, sir. Repeal all politics. Well, repeal all government, maybe? I don't know. I don't know what the answers are. All I know is that the current answers are not good. That is all that we have this morning. Thank you for watching. I am JJW, and tune in tomorrow morning when Deacon and I will read the news and talk politics and tell you everything you need to know about what's going on in the world, because we love you and we're your two dads. Bye, everybody.
Daddy,
What? You want to say bye? Oh, Villanelle's waving goodbye, everybody.